Hello, I'm Niall from Group 7, I believe. I'll have to check again. Yeah, Group 7. And a project that we are doing is called Cafestagram. And it's kind of like a social media app, but for uploading like cafes and all that. And locating these cafes a lot easier because when I search up cafes on Google, you're always forced to use Yelp, and I find that kind of annoying. And it's just not a good user experience to find cafes near me and to see how these cafes look. So I kind of wanted to create an app that makes it a lot easier. And so what we have so far is our login page and our sign up page. So first, let me start this. And what we're using is React for the front end, and we're using Python for the back end, using the Fast API library. And so when you start the app, you're at the home screen, which gives two different routes, one being the login, one being the sign up. So when you press sign up, you're given like a full form that you need to fill out. And so let me fill this out. Okay, and we create an account. I still need to put the alert from when the user presses the button. It should tell what happens, but I have it in the terminal right now, or in the console. So at the moment, since the username has to be unique, the username, wait, which one has to be unique? Let me check. Okay. Since the email and phone should be unique, and the username, then it'll show that the user already exists in the database, and that shows on the server side. So let me go to the component where we log in all these fields. Okay, so in the sign up field, what's it called? And so on the front end, it passes in a form with all of the information, and when it passes that, let me show the submit. It sends a post request to our API endpoint on the server side, and so then it gets that data that the user inputted and formats it into a JSON. And on the server side, we have our endpoint right here, where what's it called? Oh yeah. So it's checking. It's looking for all. It's looking for all the entries from users where the user. Oh yeah, yeah. So then this checks if the user exists already in the database, and if not, then we insert that into our users table, and then it gives a response saying that it was created. But if it would already existed, then it gives a response that username already exists, which it gave us, where it gave it to us right here, right? And so then now, if we go to our login, I believe this works. Oh, okay. So in our login, since the username nluza already existed, we were able to successfully log into that account from this endpoint right here. So on, where is it? in the login fields. So in the login fields, it gives us another form, but just with the username and the password. And then it makes a fetch to this, what's it called, to this endpoint. It makes a post request. And then on the server side, here's our endpoint right here. Here's our route. And then it checks here. This is checking the database, and it's checking if there's a username, right? So if that username exists, then we select the password from that entry. And then, so if there was no user, then we can just return that the username or the password doesn't exist. But if that entry does exist, then we want to take the password, and since we encoded that password, we want to compare the encoded password to or the encoded password. No, we want to compare the password that we passed in from the login form, encode it, and then check the one that we have stored in our database and check if they are the same. Yeah, and that's basically it.